What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today is Black Friday 2023. So if you're out and about searching for some deals, hopefully you find everything that you're looking for. However, for us beer enthusiasts, Black Friday means something different, and that is the release of special beers, whether that's your local or regional brewery, or maybe even the OG beer release of Bourbon County brand stout, which, as we speak, I'm sure a lot of you out there are searching for not only the base of Bourbon County brand stout, but most of its variants, and I'll be joining you. I want to get at least a bottle of the base and a bottle of each variant. We'll see if that comes to fruition, but that is the goal. Now, on Black Friday, most folks will post a beer review of a prior vintage or a variant of Bourbon County brand stout. I did that last year. This year, however, I am still going to be reviewing a beer from the Goose Island Beer Company, and they're out of Chicago, Illinois, but it's not a Bourbon County brand stout, vintage, or a variant. It is their 35th anniversary Cuvée barrel-aged ale. So this is essentially a blended barrel-aged American strong ale that comes in at 14.7% alcohol by volume, no IBUs listed in time of review, and this bottle is approximately 6.5 months old. I want to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a good friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Chris, for this beer. So big thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail boxing video I did that contains all the goodies he hooked me up with, and he sent me this beer back in the spring. I think it was in May, and this was the reason he sent out the beer mail. I saw him drinking this on Untapped, and he said in his check-in, I'm paraphrasing, he was like, "Bourbon County who? Just give me this." And I was intrigued. I was like, "What?" And he's like, "If I can find an extra bottle of it, I'll send it your way." Lo and behold, he did. So huge thanks to Chris for this one. Now, if you want to just fast forward to the review, feel free to do so. Probably 3 or 4 minutes. Fast forward 3 or 4 minutes and you should get right to the review. But I want to talk about this beer a little bit because it's special. So the rest of you who stay with me, let me grab my tablet. I don't really bust out the tablet all that often to read anything. I try to go off the top of the dome piece, but I wanted to make sure I didn't mess this one up. So there is a little bit of a spiel here that Goose Island kind of wrote about this one. So it says, Chicago is home to a long list of respected craft breweries. In 1988, it was a different story. Inspired by English brewing traditions and a burgeoning American craft movement, Goose Island opened and provided many with their first taste of locally made beer. Over the next 3.5 decades, they've crafted many iconic brews, achieving worldwide recognition for their pioneering approach to barrel-aged beer. Now, this beer specifically, why it's so cool, it says, for their 35th anniversary, Goose Island offers this unique cuvée of 5 different barrel-aged beers. The blend consists of 48% English-style barley wine, 28% oatmeal stout, 13% rye stout, 8% American imperial stout, and 3% Belgian-style quad, all aged in a mixture of bourbon, rum, and cognac barrels for 18 to 36 months. And they have a bunch of tasting notes, which I won't read. And to go one step further about this beer in terms of what this beer is, now, I watched a video on Instagram going back in the spring when they released this one, and they talked about how this is actually 35 different barrel-aged beers. So while it is 5 different styles, it's 35 different barrel-aged beers blended into one. And I think that's the coolest thing ever. Chris loved this beer. And the fact that I'm getting a chance to try it right now, there's no words. So again, I will thank Chris about 1,000 times in this review, but huge thanks to him. It's cool to be able to review this one. I'm going to crack it open, get into my glass, and I can't wait to see what this one's all about. And to see, Chris said Bourbon County who? I don't know. I mean, we all love Bourbon County stout. If you like a barrel-aged imperial stout, I'm sure most of you like Bourbon County or some of its variants. So it's going to be interesting to see what this one's all about. So let's give it a pour into the glass. And yeah, that's looking thick. More dark brown than black, but it's still looking fantastic. And I'm going to drink this entire thing today, so we're pouring it all in. We are pouring it all in. So a little bit of a cheat. Okay. Anyway, so I don't know if that's going to come off on camera. There are not only sheets, there's curtains. This is I did a little bit of a shake here, and it is staining the glass, the alcohol legs. it's probably not gonna come off my camera, but there's like a dip here that goes like this just from the actual legs. That's insane. In the glass is pitch black. Holding up to the light, yeah, it's more like in that Dr. Pepper realm, like a really dark brown, some ruby red hints at the bottom of the glass. Had about a half finger of this brown colored head. Is now dissipated into a thin film, really no head to speak of. It's almost 15%, so that's to be expected. But yeah, it looks like a blended barrel-aged American Strong Ale. Let's get a nose. You follow the channel, you know a couple things. Number one, I love English barley wines. I love old ales, things of that nature. That's what this smells. It'd be a long fucking, it'd be like a 20-minute review. Holy fucking, I don't know what to say. There are so many dark fruits, so much of a, there's a sweetness in here, right? But it's decadent and rich, like an adult sweetness. Shout out to Matt over at Massive Beer Reviews. He says that a lot. But yeah, it's just like a mature sweetness to it. There's a ton of dried fruit here. There's cherry, there's plum, there's dates, raisins. There's a dark chocolate, a sweeter dark chocolate. There's caramel, there's toffee, brown sugar, molasses. I could just sit here and just name off a bunch of shit, and it's all in here. And the barrels are, I get a little bit of like a spiciness. Could be coming from one of the beers that was aged in rum. There's a nice peppery kind of bourbon / whiskey note. Oh my Jesus Christ. There's a slight roasty, toasty kind of malt character. Vanilla for sure. Like vanilla is screaming off the top. Listen, to smell this beer, I could sit here probably for 15, 20 minutes and just pull out different notes. It's insane how complex the nose is. Jesus Christ. I didn't see a lot of like hype or anything around this beer. Like if you had this in a Bourbon County bottle, I think people would be losing their shit over it, especially a lot of folks that like the Bourbon County brand barley wine. There's a little bit of a leathery tobacco type of note. A slight touch of like a Coca-Cola, like the spiciness you get from a cola. Top five aroma of a beer I've had this year, maybe top 3. I just want to drink it. Cheers, everybody. Huge thanks to Chris. Please be as delicious as the aroma indicates. Please. If you're watching this, I apologize. I need like probably like 2 minutes of just dead silence. You know, they say dead air is bad. I don't give a shit. I give absolutely no fucks given after that first sip. I'm gonna tell you right now. This beer right here, I don't even have to drink any more of this. I really don't. Maybe I'm bullshit. Maybe this is a 5 out of 5. This is fucking one of the best Goose Island beers I've ever had. That first sip was fucking immaculate. Unbelievable. Frank Caliendo, when he did Bill Walton, I can smell colors. I wish I could smell colors. That aftertaste is so decadent, so rich, so complex, so inviting, so absolutely fucking delicious that I cannot stress how good this beer is for me right now. All right, do I have to review this one? I guess we'll review it, whatever. Shout out to Poppy Eats, whatever, guys. Poppy, you probably won't watch this, but shout out to you, buddy. Body, 14.7%. It's a bit thin. Do I give a shit? I absolutely give no fucks. The second time I'll say that. No fucks given. It's like medium, maybe low, medium, full. I think it actually enhances the drinkability. The mouthfeel, moderately carbonated, but it has such a smoothness to it, a little bit of a creamy nature. So body and mouthfeel are probably the one thing that's not like world class in this beer, but the taste more than makes up for it. 14.7%. Is this boozy? No. I am on the palate. There have been 9 and 10% beers that are more boozy on the palate to me than this beer. Is there a huge fucking warming in my chest? Is this beer in my chest on, like, as a lot of folks would say, is it fire? No, wait, fire would be as good. Is it on fire? Perhaps. Warming in the chest, into the stomach. Yes, it's boozy into my chest. On the palate, it's not hot. Let's just say it's not hot on the palate. And maybe that's 6.5 months of aging. Maybe when this was fresh, it was hot. I don't know. This, again, gonna be a longer review. Forefront. There is so much complexity to the malt character in this beer that it's fucking absurd. And I guess I'll just sit here and name everything I'm getting, like, for the most part. First thing, the predominant note, dark fruits, dried, fresh cherries, black cherries, dates, figs, raisins. Molasses, blackstrap molasses, caramel and toffee, dark chocolate, 50-60% cacao bar, a slight touch of like a roasty toasted malt character. That's all at the forefront, passes through, and it's kind of omnipresent. It's like everywhere. Halfway through the palate, I get more of like the barrels. And again, it's like a spicy rum barrel into a peppery like bourbon barrel. There's a little bit of vanillins on the palate. And it finishes with that like spicy dark fruit is what the finish is for me. Mildly bitter, semi-full on dry. Is this sweet? Yes. Is this cloying? Not even remotely close. But this is a nightcap sipping beer. This is a beer that you want to sit and sip on this for fucking, an hour and just enjoy all the complexities. I mean, I keep on going back because I'm trying to review it, but I just kind of want to sip on this like every 5 or 10 minutes and just enjoy it, almost like a nice, spirit of some sort. And just, again, the legs are fucking absurd. It's a little bit of like a underlying like Coca-Cola vibe to it, Dr. Pepper. More of like a Dr. Pepper. Like, if you ever had Dr. Pepper, Coca-Cola, not obviously as sweet as those as those soda pops, but kind of like the flavors you would get. It's a fucking awesome beer. And I can't, Chris, I can't thank you enough, man. I know I don't know if he got another bottle or two or whatever for himself, but the fact that he sent one of these to me, it's the coolest thing. Beer tubing and people, being so generous with sending stuff. Like, this is one of my favorite beers maybe of the past 5 years. This is so fucking good. This is, without a shadow of a doubt, my favorite beer of 2023 as we speak. I love English barley wines. I love English old ales. And this is like a barrel-aged English barley wine or old ale on steroids. A lot of complexities. And it's somewhat drinkable. Like, I would say drinkable as in, all right, it's somewhat sessionable. That's a fucking, what I just said is so stupid. But what I'm trying to say, and I'm already fucked up from this beer, but what I'm trying to say is that it's an easy drinking, almost 15% barrel-aged or blended barrel-aged American strong ale. And that's just fucking absurd. Yeah. There's not much more to say about it. Oh, man. I just got something akin to like a mixed berry, or even like a cherry into like a raspberry and blackberry. Like, it's, I don't know. As I said, this is a 5 out of 5. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say anything else. It's a 5 fucking out of 5. All day, every day. Yeah, 5 out of 5. Price point and availability, I have no idea. I'd assume that this was probably, I don't know if this was brewery only or in and around Chicago, but it certainly didn't make distro outside of Illinois. I'm pretty confident about that. And then a price point, I have no idea. I'd pay easily $10 to $12 for that bottle all day, every day. And knowing that Bourbon County, like the base goes for like 12 to 14, it's in a 500 mil, I might even pay $15 for that bottle. It's fucking absurd how good this is. If you like Cuvée, if you like Cuvée/Cuvée beers, and you're down with trying something that's a blended beer with a bunch of different beers, yes, seek this one out. I doubt they have any left at the brewery or in Illinois, but if you know somebody who maybe got their hands on a bunch and you can trade or grab a bottle of it, I highly recommend it, because this is one of my favorite beers of this year. Based on what I'm drinking right now, this is fucking absurd in the best way possible. So yeah, if you've had this one before, I know there's quite a few folks from Chicago that do watch the channel. So if you've had it, post in the comment section. I'd love to hear what you think about this one. And now I get why Chris said Bourbon County Who. Would I go that far? I think this is better than the vast majority of the base Bourbon County brand styles I've had, yeah. But this is up there with some of the best releases of Bourbon County brand barley wine. Like, it's in that realm where it's just like, yeah, give me this. They need to release the barley wine every year. I can't believe they don't. Like, they need to. And they don't need to do crazy shit like, oh, here's the coffee barley wine. Just give me the Bourbon County brand barley wine. That's all I want. Please, Goose Island, just do that for all of us. Please, somebody help them out. If you're local to Chicago, help them out. I'm fucking scratching the bottom. I don't know. I'm not even hammered, but I'm about to be. I'm about to be. Anyway, huge thanks to Chris. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Hopefully, like I said, Black Friday went well for you. Hopefully, it went well for me as well. Again, I'm reviewing this one in advance, so I have no idea, but it doesn't really matter because even if it doesn't, I have this beer, and that's all I need in this life. Till the next one. Cheers.